Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right in to demystify exactly what goes down in your mind and your body when you tackle a 30-day fitness challenge. Now, we see these challenges literally everywhere online, right? Running a mile every single day, mastering the splits, training like an elite pro athlete. But beyond those flashy thumbnails, what is physiologically going on under the hood? I am so excited to guide you through this journey today because the science of human adaptation is just absolutely fascinating.
To really grasp why we even attempt these grueling challenges in the first place, you've got to consider this number, 22. According to research highlighted by fitness creator Brownie, sitting down for just 1 hour reduces your lifespan by 22 minutes. To put that into perspective, smoking a single cigarette reduces it by 11 minutes. When you realize that prolonged sitting is mathematically twice as bad for your immediate life expectancy as smoking a cigarette, getting off the couch suddenly feels like a biological emergency, doesn't it?
But hey, here's where that clinical need to exercise collides head-on with cold, hard reality. Fitness creator Jesse James West, boldly, and maybe a little foolishly, gave himself only 30 days to train for a full marathon. On day 1, he literally confessed, "I fully regret signing up for this marathon." That right there perfectly captures the whole thing. It juxtaposes the noble, high-minded idea of getting fit with the gritty, chafing, purely painful reality of actually lacing up your shoes and doing it. This explainer isn't about perfect, curated, Instagram-style workouts. It's an honest look at surviving the gauntlet.
So here is our survival map for today. We'll kick things off at the starting line, brace ourselves for the shock phase, push through hitting the plateau, celebrate when the habit kicks in, and finally look at beyond 30 days. Let's get right into it.
Phase 1, the starting line. Motivation meets reality. This is day 1, baby.
Your enthusiasm is sky high. You've got the new gear, but your body is completely, utterly unprepared for what's about to hit it. If we look at the physiological timeline outlined by fitness expert Justin Augustin, your body actually perceives your brand new workout as a literal threat on day 1. It immediately triggers a biological fight or flight response. Your hormones spike, and your brain releases this massive flood of endorphins to mask the pain, which gives you that temporary feeling of euphoria. But that high fades the second you stop. It isn't until week 1 that your body stops panicking and starts desperately creating efficiency structures to handle the trauma you're putting it through.
And you know, this universal struggle, it plays out across completely different disciplines. Jesse James West tried running daily for a marathon, and by day 1, he was cramping up, failing at just 3 miles. Henry Vo tried learning the middle splits, which just resulted in extreme tightness and pain. Brownie's team tried running just 1 mile a day, just one, and were left totally breathless with terrible times. And Chris Foster, training like a Division I basketball player, found himself overcomplicating moves and bricking shots. The discipline doesn't matter. That humbling reality check of day 1 comes for us all.
Phase 2, the shock phase. Blisters, cramps, and regret.
This is where your initial burst of motivation crashes violently into the physical consequences of sudden, intense exertion. If you've ever worked out, you know this enemy extremely well. DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. It's that awful stiffness and micro-tearing you feel hours or even days after unaccustomed exercise. Creator Henry Vo had a sudden, very painful scientific realization of this when, after just a few days of aggressively stretching for a splits challenge, his legs felt completely destroyed. He literally couldn't push his body down because his muscles were just screaming in pain from the microscopic damage.
There's a real clinical warning here from Dr. Zachary Sprague at Scripps Health, one that our creators definitely lived through. Going too hard, too fast, increases the risk for injury. Jesse James West completely ignored this, pacing himself way too fast on his early runs. The result? Severe chafing on his thighs, bleeding blisters on his feet, and agonizing shin splints. Listen, when you let your ego drive your first week, your body will absolutely force you to pay the toll.
Phase 3, hitting the plateau, when the body fights back.
If you somehow survive the shock phase, you transition into week 2. This is where the body starts to adapt, sure, but your mind and joints hit a massive, demoralizing wall. The data perfectly proves that progress is almost never a straight line. Comparing Brownie's team from day 1 to day 15 shows that deep cellular exhaustion really sets in. Stan went from a 5:27 mile to a 6:30. Arjun went from sub 5 minutes to nearly 8 minutes. They were trying to push through the chaotic, crowded streets of London in the freezing rain at 10 p.m. Their times didn't get better, they got drastically worse. This right here, this is the exact moment where 90% of people quit their fitness resolution.
To break through a plateau like that, sometimes you literally have to outsmart your own anatomy. Take Henry Veau again. He hit this physical wall where his pelvic bone and femur literally started rubbing together. Extremely painful, and he couldn't go any lower. So he relied on some big brain research, a technique called PNF stretching. By actively flexing his muscles while at the bottom of his stretch, he essentially tricked his nervous system into allowing the muscle to elongate further, totally bypassing his anatomical plateau. You have to actively problem solve when the body fights back.
Phase 4. The habit kicks in, efficiency, and the runner's high. Entering weeks 3 and 4 is the absolute crucial turning point where everything changes. Clinical data compiled from the run experience shows that around week 3, your body transitions from merely surviving the workouts to actually demanding the habits that support them. You stop forcing a diet and naturally start craving healthier, whole foods. Your sleep becomes so much deeper and restorative. Your sense of thirst heightens, keeping you hydrated. Your immune system seriously fortifies itself. And you develop this amazing kinesthetic awareness, a fluid, highly athletic connection between your brain and your body. The struggle literally becomes a lifestyle.
And that physical shift, it unlocks a massive mental shift. As Jesse James West beautifully observed during his challenge, toughness is very easily identified through running. Your mind is constantly trying to tell you to stop. Once he finally pushed past that mental barrier, Jesse suddenly found himself casually crushing a 10-mile run and experiencing the legendary, mythical runner's high. Over in his basketball challenge, Chris Foster completely shifted his mindset too. Instead of stressing out over missed shots, he found himself happily shooting 150 three-pointers alone in the heavy morning wind, just fully embracing the joy of the process.
Phase 5. Beyond 30 days, the real transformation.
Let's finally cross the finish line and look at the actual, tangible results you get when the month is over. We really need to contrast the internet's highly polished, filtered expectations with clinical reality. According to experts at Thrive and Conquer, you are simply not going to get an instantly shredded physique or massive muscle gains in just 30 days. The reality? You might lose 4 to 8 pounds. The true transformation is hidden underneath: immense mental grit, vastly enhanced cardiovascular stamina, better sleep, a minor body recomposition, and a rock-solid foundation of discipline. True habit formation actually takes 3 to 6 months. The 30 days? That's just the ignition switch.
Brownie's final data set perfectly proves this point. Look at this. Arjun actually gained a little mass, going from 73.5 kilograms to 73.9. Jorg lost just under 2 kilos. Stan maintained his weight almost exactly. Now, if they were only looking at the scale, they might feel like failures, but look beyond the scale. Every single one of them drastically beat their initial 1-mile time. Their cardiovascular efficiency, their lung capacity, and their sheer undeniable discipline absolutely skyrocketed. That, my friends, is the real victory.
So how do we take all this knowledge and actually apply it? Well, the experts at Thrive and Conquer provide this incredibly actionable blueprint to sustain your newfound resilience. First, stay active daily. Aim for about 15,000 steps to maintain a slight caloric deficit. Second, schedule it. Don't just leave it to chance. Lock it right into your calendar and find an accountability buddy. And third, fuel correctly with unprocessed whole foods like a paleo diet. If you follow this structure, you can absolutely achieve the impossible, just like Jesse James West, who actually went on to complete his marathon in under 4 hours, defying pretty much all the odds.
Well, we've seen the science, we've seen the pain, and we've seen the undeniable physiological transformation that happens when you flat out refuse to quit. You know that sitting on the couch is stealing 22 minutes of your life every single hour. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Your 30 days start tomorrow. What's your day 1? Stop sitting, embrace the inevitable discomfort, and take that very first step. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.